welcome to the Music Baby podcast. My name is Delphine and I am the OG Music Baby. And I'm here to build a community of talented artists, new artists, independent musicians. And we come together and we try and navigate this big crazy world that we call the music industry. Every single month, Music Baby podcast subscribers will get a whole big array of beautiful content delivered just to you. You will get 2 episodes of me talking about some important issues that interest me surrounding the music business. That could be songwriting focused, live music focused, or just general music business focused content. Once or twice a month, you will also get some great interviews with local artists who will be performing some live sessions here in the studio at South Lane Studios. And I will also be interviewing them about their songwriting process, their live performances, what inspires them, their background in music, and so forth. There will also be a monthly episode where we talk to a music industry expert who will give you tips on how to be the best music baby you can be. Once a month, there will be a super special crossover episode with the Music Dad podcast, hosted by Stupid Hearts Club, aka Nico.
Look at this old man.
Look at this old man.
I don't know how to press the button on my phone.
You can find our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and additionally on YouTube in video format on the channel The Music Baby Podcast.
You can find us on Facebook, Armbook, Shoulderbook, Cinemagram, Twittergram, all the grams. Bosh.
Today, we have a very exciting guest here that I'm going to interview. It's Crimson, who is an indie rock musician from the sunny Brighton.
Hi, I'm Crimson. Debatably, I make indie rock music, and I'm currently based in Brighton, but I'm originally from Kent, and I would say I'm on the forefront of the queer scene at the moment.
So you say you're an indie rock musician. Can you describe what brought you into music in the first place? How did you get into becoming a songwriter and a musician?
I don't really know, but I think when I was younger, I always wanted to play guitar. I always wanted to do music. I was never amazing at it, but I always wanted to do it. And then when I was 12, 13, I started writing terrible songs. And then when I was 14, I wrote my first proper okay-ish song, Crap Television. You can stream it on Spotify. And then from that point, it sort of became a tool for me to write about whatever was going on in my life. It sort of became my tool to actually process and heal and move on. And it's always just been a tool for me. So I think that's how I got into songwriting. But with the music thing, I picked up one instrument and then I was like, oh my God, I want to learn another one and another one and another one. And then I was like, oh, I want to learn how to produce. And I'm currently learning how to DJ. I just love every aspect of hands-on music stuff.
Yeah, it's really good to learn everything yourself so that you don't have to rely on anybody else.
Yeah.
How many instruments do you play at the moment then?
So I play guitar, bass, drums, I sing, I teach recorder, I can play keys. I can do a C major scale on a trumpet.
Ooh, it's the only scale you really need.
But I think instrument-wise, I think that's everything. Oh, and I did orchestral percussion for a while as well.
Oh, that's great. That's really
fun.
cool. So do you play all those instruments on your own recordings as well?
Yeah, majority of my tracks is just me playing instruments. The one I just released, Selfish Self-Motivated, all of the instruments are played by me. But I think on some of the tracks I have a different drummer in and bits and bobs, just when you need someone who's just really, really good. Are we allowed to swear on this? Really fucking cool.
So where did you record your latest song, for example? Did you just record it at home?
I actually recorded it at Small Pond, which is new for me because I used to record in a church. We converted a room in a church to a studio, which was really dope.
Did they know about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
sick.
let me do it. They were like, "Do you wanna make a studio in the church?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah! Of course I
Yeah.
want to make a studio in the church." And I'd produce from there and everything. And then since moving to Brighton, because I now go to music uni, I've got free access to studios quite a lot of the time. So I went to Small Pond, and I recorded that there, and then just sent it to someone else to get mix and masters because I was like, my mixing is okay, but it's not great. And I was like, this is the best audio quality I've had. Maybe I'll actually put some money in it for once and send it off and
Yeah.
see what someone else can do with it. And I was really happy with it. So yeah.
Yeah. It's always best to like ask somebody else to master your song. Like I try to get as good at mixing as possible so that I don't have to do that with somebody else. But the master is just a whole new thing. I still don't understand what it actually means.
I think it just means making it all loud enough.
That's what everybody says, but then apparently there's so many plugins that you have to use. You have to use a multiband compressor, an EQ, and all of that nonsense. And
I'll leave that bit to the professionals. Do you know what I mean?
In reality, they just like put the fader up a little bit and send it back to you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I want to talk about your songwriting process a little bit more, because from the songs, you can tell that you draw from real life examples. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it has caused me many personal arguments in my real life.
Do you have a story about a specific song that somebody recognized they're in?
I have too many stories about specific songs. I think the funniest one was the one I just released, though, because I was showing it to a couple friends, and it's like about one of my friends, and we were like sat down in a pub, and like I don't know why I decided to like sit down in the pub and go, "Hey guys, what do you think of my new song?" And then she turned to me and she was like, "Is this about me?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about." And then it was just like really weird and awkward between us. But I think the funniest thing is my EP, like 3 out of 5 songs on that are about one of my friends.
Oh no, and did they know?
They do. Yeah, they knew. But by the time it came out, it had like all like passed, because you know how long it takes to like write a song and then you record it, and then about a year and a half later it finally hits everyone's ears. So at that point it was like, it was fine, but it was really funny because when we actually like when I put the songs out, like all of my friends who were like around in that era went, "Oh my god, do you still have a crush on this person?" I was like, "No, I just released the songs."
Oh yeah. I feel like it can cause a bit of a problem that you have that delay in there. So I have a bunch of songs that I wrote about other people, and my partner now, I can't really put them out now because my partner now will think that I have feelings for somebody else because they're so obviously not about them.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit worried of like, how do I explain that?
But you just got to be real with it. I was just like, I want to put the EP out, and obviously I used what was going on at the time for promo because it was kind of like a funny little story. So I was getting like DMs from my like old friends being like, "Wait a second, do you have like a crush on it?" I was like, "No, I'm just using this for PR." And like, I've got another song planned to come out maybe May, June. I'm not promising anything. And that the story behind that is very obvious. I feel like I'm quite obvious about what I'm talking about in my songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when I first wrote it, it's such a fuck you song. And I showed it to the person I wrote it about, and they were like, "That's so fair." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I played it live at a show. And then like one of her friends was at a show and was like, "I heard you just played this song live in front of a kid." I was like, "I told you that the song existed.
Yeah.
What did you think? I was just gonna like
hide it from the world."
And then like the next thing I know, like I don't see her ever. And then I bumped into her and she was like, "I heard you recorded that song about me." I was like, "Yeah, I've done it. It's coming out." And she was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh no.
But like I'm so over it. I was like, "Yeah."
Well, if you have a difficult situation with somebody, the best you can do is make the most of it and like record a song about it, make some art about it, maybe make some money from it as well. Like,
Literally.
What else are you supposed to do with pain or with like a silly situation?
What I found funniest was it's like this person was also a songwriter, and I was like, you know more than anyone else. If you do something like this, something so juicy and stupid, of course I'm gonna write a song about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sorry to like all of my friends in real life, because I hope they don't live in like constant fear that I'm just gonna turn around and write a song. Because I actually wrote a song about one of my bandmates once.
Oh.
And like their crush. And that was a hilarious process because they were in the room whilst I was writing it. I now live with the person that song is written about. And it was like, this is really fun.
So it just became more difficult as the time went by.
Yeah. Some songs just like, they're like the moment passes, and some songs it's like, this is so funny. And the moment just lasts for quite a while. Yeah.
I wonder how many people wrote songs about me. I don't think anybody did. I wish somebody would. Even if it's a juicy one, I just want someone to write a song about me.
Yeah, I'll write a song about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Is it going to be a mean one or a nice one?
I'll write a nice one.
Oh.
I don't think anyone's written a song about me. But there was a period where I was just writing diss tracks. I've never written a diss track before. Like, we go into this church studio and I make this really ridiculous, stupid beat, and then like whoever was pissing me and my friends off, I'd like invite them into the studio. None of us can rap. We just sit there and we like rap. And we wouldn't do anything with it. It's just like sound
Just
a
for
hard
fun,
drive in
yeah,
the house,
yeah.
but it's so fun to make a diss track.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, that's like, as a songwriter, that's the most fun way to blow off the steam. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just do that. Everyone make a diss track.
Yeah, because it's funny because you get all of your grievances out, but in rhyme form. So you were saying that you wrote a song in a pub. Do you have a favorite venue in Brighton to either go to or perform as an artist?
So my first show in Brighton was at the Hope and Ruin, which was lovely. It's such a nice venue.
That's such a big one to have as your first venue. My God, I'm trying to get in there.
But then I've like scaled down since. But I think it was like the right move because it was like when you first moved to uni and everyone's like, because it was like maybe like a month or two after we started uni, and everyone's like trying to make friends with everyone, so they'll just go and see whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what sort of happened there. And then the other two venues I played like the Bee's Mouth and the Pipeline, which are they're really nice, small, intimate venues.
Yeah.
But there's the Bee's Mouth is specifically just really lovely because it's not really supposed to function as a room with such loud music in it.
Yeah, it looks like a little theatre.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And when we did it, it was like really beautiful for me because half the room was like people I know and like my friends, and the other half of the room was complete strangers, like not in my age group, and it was like lovely because these people, everyone was dancing, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so loved. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Was that the Stupid House Club night?
Yeah.
That was so cute because everyone's so, like, everyone who comes there is so genuinely there to enjoy the music and the music that they haven't heard of before as well. So you get people like actively listening to you, which is sometimes rare.
And it was nice because like you like people will hear the music and they'll come downstairs as well,
yeah,
which is
it's
just
so nice.
lovely.
The room was like packed. I tried to put on nights there before and it wasn't like that. Like Stupid House Club, Nico has such a good connection to the right audience that you want.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just great people in that room. And it's also nice because I think when you're like in my age group and you're at uni, you get the same people come to your gigs. And obviously the hardest part of being a musician is actually cultivating a fan base.
It's so hard.
So you want to be in front of strangers that you've never seen before because hopefully one of them will turn around and be like, I like your music.
Yeah, but how
And
do you
like-
get those strangers in the first place?
Exactly. So that was a great opportunity for me because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm in front of a bunch of people that I actually don't know, who have no relation to my music at all, or like my age group or my uni or anything. These are just strangers. And that was lovely. And then I did a gig at the Pipeline, and it was much, much smaller than the Bee's Mouth. And it was like, there was an actual complete stranger who had literally just seen my gig posted on some Instagram site that I didn't even put it on, like, it was like on an Instagram forum or something. And he stayed the whole night. And I was like,
Oh,
that was such a moment for me because I was
that's
like,
so cute.
maybe that's my first fan. And like, I
Yeah.
was like, I just ecstatic. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like,
Yeah.
this is how I start building it. Do you know, this is how I start growing.
Yeah, it's so strange to have. It's so strange to have people come to your gig who you don't know in your personal life, and then they genuinely enjoy your music, and you're like, wait, but I don't know you. What do you mean you enjoy my music? I
Yeah.
didn't force you to come here. It's just so
Yeah.
nice when they just come out of their own free will, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is like, when I've got a fairly big-ish like platform on Instagram, and you think sometimes you go, oh, like I don't have enough followers on Instagram, and like, and you put it down to that. But at the end of the day, if none of those followers are going to your gigs, there's no point
Yeah.
because it's not about like the following; it's about the fans. Because unless you're like, I don't know. Like, I also don't think that TikTok virality is worth it. Like,
I
people will go
hate
viral,
TikTok.
get loads of followers,
Yeah.
and then they'll book a big show. But there's a big issue with that going on right now. Like, we had some people from Universal Music Group come to my uni, like about a month or two ago, and they were like, just playing your music for them so you could get some A&R feedback, really. And they were like sat down, they were talking about these like TikTok virality things and how they signed a couple of people who went viral on TikTok, but then realised they don't have any stage presence, they don't know how to do a show, they don't have anyone who's actually going to come to the shows either.
I'm glad they realized
And they
that,
were
though.
like, oh, so they've stopped signing people
Yeah.
who go viral on TikTok now. And I'm just aware that like maybe I'll go viral one day. But that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm searching for, because I want longevity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think TikTok is effective if you want to make music for your whole life.
Yeah.
If you have an idea that you want to go viral, then obviously it's a great app for that. But the algorithm is way too random, I think, for it to make sense. Like if I put out my music and my song and I just like sing a really nice recording of my song, there's no guarantee that that will work, because the algorithm just picks up random things and makes them go viral, or like just random funny ideas, or just pretty girls or whatever.
I also think it's like, we're not in like that TikTok viral music group, like of sound.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, because I feel like the TikTok viral songs always have like some bridge that's like lip syncable or like danceable.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
if your song isn't like that, then like it's not like a TikTok viral song. But like, why am I making music for TikTok? I'm not making music for TikTok.
For a musician, I don't think it's the best, because you have to write a song for TikTok, and that's not what music's about. You write the song for the song and not for the platform.
I find that like, so I'm in another group as well as making my own stuff called Monocopsis, and there's a relatively new project and we're really excited for it. But I find that my Monocopsis videos do better than like my actual Crimson videos, and I have no idea why, because the content that I put on that account and my account are pretty much the same.
That's
like
what I mean. It's
editing
so
and stuff, and I have no idea what the difference is between the ones I put on my account and the ones I put on them, and like why they do so much better than mine.
That's strange. That's what I mean. I feel like you could try anything and the algorithm will just pick anything up randomly. It doesn't mean that the other videos are bad. It just means, what does it mean? What does it mean, TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
Explain yourself.
Let me know, because I want to know.
Going back to live shows, specifically locally here in Brighton, how do you feel about the grassroots venue issue and everything closing down because it's not bringing in any money?
I actually think it's the most terrible thing that's actually happened to me. Like, in this like crumble of what's going on in the music industry, I feel like this is the worst part of it.
It is.
I think in Brighton, we're quite lucky that there are so many music venues. Like, and the fact that there are so many artists in Brighton, that I feel like it's not a super mega issue here, but you can still see it, because like people are going out less, and that means that people are going to less music. But another problem with that is that a lot of these big artists like Taylor Swift and Lana are going on like arena tours or doing these big shows that are costing like nearly £200 a ticket. And so people are saving up their money to go and see like one show, and then going, because they don't have this money, and then not going to see small shows, which I'm not going to lie, like most tickets in Brighton, I've been to shows at £3, I've been to shows that are free, I've been to shows at £6, and like you see a whole different like host of artists, and it's always been really fresh and really ingenuitive and like really exciting. And it's like, the thing is that I don't think people are realising is, if more grassroots venues die out, you're never going to see someone get as famous or as wicked as like Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey ever again. And I love them both so much. I did pay £125 to see Lana in Hyde Park in the summer. But like, upon reflection, I'm like, I should not have paid that much for a ticket.
I think it's like you said, it's just part of a bigger problem. It's not so much about, I don't want to pay for that because it's too expensive. It shouldn't be that expensive in the first place. As with everything, there's such a huge gap between the independent small artists who charge, like you said, £3 to £5 for a ticket, and then the big, massive arena tour stage artists who charge £100 to £200 to £300 for a ticket. It's just too big of a gap that needs to come closer together, in my opinion.
You know what's also mad? I was actually in Uber last night on my way home from work, and I was actually talking about this, trying to prep myself so I'd like think about it in my sleep for the podcast. And he was like, I went to BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend in like 2010, which is a 3-day festival. And he went in like North Wales, and he was like, I paid £60. And he saw Beyonce and like the whole like host of it.
In 2010?
2010.
It's not even that long ago.
Like, how is it like 2010 we were paying £60 for a 3-day like big BBC Big Weekend, and now we're in 2024 and Like most arena shows are £200 a ticket.
Yeah, and Reading Festival, for example, is a 3-day festival. That's £300 as well.
And then you know what's mad is like I think the thing is that some of the bigger artists, and I don't want to bash them, they've realised that people will pay that amount of money to see them.
Yeah.
And those artists really do not need that much money. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they obviously have higher costs as well, because just having that arena will cost way more. All the staff, all the lighting, all the effects, everything. I do understand that, but they still have such a ridiculous amount of profit after the whole tour that, and if you look then at smaller artists like us who charge £3 to £5 for entry, I made minus on almost every show that I organized so far, because the booking the room and getting the equipment and everything costs, and getting the getting the mixing engineers and door person, it adds up to way more than you make in ticket sales. And it's just ridiculous that the higher ups, like the Taylor Swifts and the Justin Biebers, make such a huge profit when we are making minus.
When I did my first show in Brighton, we did the Home from Ruin, I charged like £8 advance, and it was like 12 on the door. And like, because I've played, like most of the shows I've played are either in like Kent or London, and I'm used to that being like an average price for a gig.
That should be an average price for a gig.
And I had so many of my friends being like, that's so expensive. And I was like, do you want me to pay the other bands that are playing? Because it was like a gig that me and my like DIY record label put on, called Eat Records, that we put on. And it's like we have to make profit because we want to pay the other artists that go on and the sound engineers and this and that. So it is important for us to at least break even, because we don't want to see those people go without pay. It's like a massive issue for us. And we just did the Pipeline where we like just about broke even.
Yeah. And Pipeline is free to book as well. Like, it's so difficult to make a profit. So a lot of the times when I organize a gig, I can't even offer payment to all the bands because there's just not enough money coming in. Because the small venues who don't cost a lot of money to book or are free to book, they also don't hold a lot of capacity. Yeah. And then if you have like 60 capacity and you charge £3 entry, that's £180.
And that means that like no one's walking away with anything decent.
That means you can maybe pay the sound engineer and that's it.
Yeah. I'm kind of lucky that like my cousin actually did the sound for my Pipeline show because he's a sound engineer, and it's like that sort of thing that's like, we sort of both went into that being like, I'm not going to be able to pay you, but what we've offered instead is like, he's in a band and we've offered them a free photo shoot, because I'm like, because
so you're trading skills,
like I said, like the DIY label, we're trading it, and that's easier because it's like anyone else I wouldn't feel comfortable being like, I can't pay you for this. But because it's him, I'm like, we can offer you anything that we do as a label. We can offer you that for free as like a skill trade.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a really good idea. I mean, it shouldn't have to come to this, obviously, because how are we going to pay rent with trading photo shoots and stuff like that? But it's a really good idea to kind of work around it a little bit.
I mean, I guess I'm lucky I'm in that uni bubble of right now that like my rent is being paid by my student loan, but I also have a job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone needs a little bit of extra money. But yeah, when your student loan covers your rent, you kind of have the freedom to sort of skill share, which is like blessed me a little bit because I can't really dress myself. So I have a stylist now, and it's like
You do?
Yeah, in return, so they'll style me and I produce that music.
That is so
Which
cool.
is great,
I'm not even at the stage where I could even think about a stylist.
But when you're in uni and no one has any money and it's like real, no one has money, like you can build a team of people that's like, if you can't do this, I'll do this for you because you've got skill that I need.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's how you sort of build it up, because like as soon as you pass that uni bubble, people are like, I want money, I want to get paid. And if you don't have that money, how on earth are you going to do that? Right now, I'm in quite a lucky position that I'm around so many people who don't have enough money to be like complaining about it, so you can just skill trade.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, a really good workaround of that problem. But also, after uni, you're going to be hit with 1,000 bricks.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I did a master's, just so I could get a little bit more maintenance loan after.
Well, the plan is, what I like, I'm just going to plug my uni for about 5 minutes now. Waterbear is like all about teaching you to build a portfolio career so that by the time you leave uni, you actually have all these different streams of income from music to sustain you. Because it's not sustainable just being a solo artist in a band now. It's not sustainable just being a songwriter. So you have to do all these little things in music to make all your money. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm a lighting technician. And obviously I'm a songwriter, I'm a solo artist in a band, I'm a session musician, I'm learning how to DJ, and obviously I'm a producer as well. And my hope is, so obviously I make money from the lighting, I make money a little bit from my shows, I make a little bit of money from merch sales, just to keep building those things. So when I leave uni, because I can pay the rent with my like job that I actually, my lighting job. But like, if I was like strip away the student loan right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm not eating for the month. Do you know what I mean? So the aim is to like build them all up so that when I leave uni, I'm just making money purely off the music industry and I don't actually have to worry.
Yeah, that is ideally. Like, it's not even about becoming a rich, successful musician like Taylor Swift. It's just about being able to pay the rent so that you have all the time you need to make music and not have to work in a restaurant as a side job or something. It's literally just about, I need all my time for my music and nothing else. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Give us a decent living wage, please.
Yeah. I just want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to South Lane Studios for sponsoring the podcast by letting us use their professional studio facilities to record this episode. We have worked with them for a little while now while making the Music Baby podcast a reality, and I'm such a big fan of their ethos and the people behind them. The two co-founders, Meg and Sam, are such lovely people and have been helping us out loads. Southland Studios are a recording and rehearsal space with a mission to support striving artists who aim to create a sustainable career within the music industry from grassroots to breakthrough. The studio complex focuses on the development of the artist, supported by an experienced team of professionals who all play their part in the end goal. The artist development aspect of their services is something quite special, and as somebody who has tried it out before, I can really recommend booking a session with Meg to talk about your goals and how you can get there. They also put an emphasis on community and organize lots of great events every month. Check out their website for any updates or their Instagram feed. They post about it all the time. You will definitely see more of the studio in episodes to come and even hear some professional advice from Meg herself. Thank you so much to Meg and Sam and everybody who works at Southland Studios for helping us out while recording this episode. And let's get back to it.
And I actually think streaming comes into play here. I think streaming has kind of killed a fair amount of money that was going into grassroots musicians.
Streaming, I have a whole episode on this, and I would love your opinion on this as well. So I have the take, I don't know if you read the article, there's a Wired article called Spotify is Screwed, and it talks about how the whole model, not only Spotify, but the model of streaming platforms is just thoroughly flawed because they charge £10 per month for all music that has ever been released and all music that will ever be released. And from that, the music industry is suffering, first of all, because they can't pay artists enough. Spotify isn't paying anybody. That's obviously obvious, clear. Like, if you put your song on Spotify, you cannot expect to earn money unless you are Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Beyonce.
Again, it's all this money is just going straight up and not to the bottom.
It's going to the labels. And here's the thing that made me want to record a whole episode on it. Spotify isn't making any money. They have not made... I think they made a profit maybe once, but they are in minus almost every single year, and it's ridiculous. They can't even sustain themselves. I don't know how they just keep making minus and not go out of business. How are you still there, Spotify? I don't understand. So what I think the problem is, all the money goes to the big labels so they can license big artists like Taylor Swift, like Beyonce, like Justin Bieber, and because they are very expensive to have on Spotify probably. That means there's no money left for all the other artists, and that means that everything's screwed, including Spotify themselves. They had layoffs every single year, and it's just, I don't understand how this is still working. So what I ask everyone is, if streaming ever went out of business, would you be able to go back to physical distribution, like vinyl, CDs, cassettes?
I'd love to do physical distribution. This is something that me and the team talk about a lot. When I say the team, there's only two of them. I don't want to sound like I've got this big honcho team. It's actually just me, Callum and Shooks, and we just sit down and we go, what are we up to this week then? And we talk about it a lot, and I'm like, I would love a vinyl. And they're like, yes, but are you in the position to even sell vinyl and make a profit? And that's like, Yeah, okay, true. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to have some CDs out and like vinyl out and stuff, but yeah, like everything to do with being an artist has just got so much more expensive. And Spotify have literally just this year, it's like you don't get 1,000 streams on a song, you're making no money. They've literally said that in that year, and it's just like I'm like we're all trying to hit those goals, which is fine, but it's just like you're actually trying to kill music.
Yeah.
You're actively trying to kill music
But
at that point.
the problem is Spotify's not even the evil one because they're not making any money either. They can't give you any money because they don't have one. It's just it's too cheap. So there's the article I mentioned from Wired. There was a expert on it. I forgot his name. Dave something. Probably something completely different. And he said that it's just too cheap. £10 is not sustainable, or like €10 or whatever. It should be way in the hundreds because the sheer amount of music that you have access to should be like in the billions, probably what you should pay for that. Because if you think about it, a CD costs between £10 and £15 maybe. If it's a new one, it will be more. But imagine that times
£15, most of the time like a fiver.
Oh yeah,
the
the old
new
ones are a
ones are
fiver.
like-
Yeah, the new ones are more. But like imagine that times however many albums are on Spotify.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for with £10. So to make CDs, I think making CDs is the cheapest option. Cassettes are also quite cheap to make, but vinyl is the big one that no one can afford to make.
No one can afford to make it, but everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to love it, but this is a lie.
It is a lie.
This has been put in front of our faces because I was literally in a lecture, and my lecturer goes, "Pop quiz, how much of like physical music sales do you think were on vinyl last year in percent?" And we were all like, I don't know, like 30%, 9%.
9% is vinyl.
But we're like, as artists, we're under this myth that it's like, oh my god, if we can sell vinyl, we're amazing. No, because people aren't actually buying as much as anyone thinks.
I think it's still CDs. I think we just think it's vinyl because we're in this indie Brighton hipster bubble where everybody buys vinyl, but we're ignoring that most of the world probably just have a CD player. They don't even have streaming at all.
I would love to see the world like no streaming services for a year.
Oh, you just wait a few years.
Literally. Let's go back to like CDs for a year and like going to live gigs to find new artists. That would just be, I'd just be so interested to see what happens.
I'm softly going out of my streaming services because there was a deal on Apple Music that made it cheap for me, but it only lasts 3 months. So after those 3 months, I'm going off streaming platforms, and in those 3 months, I'm kind of building my CD collection. And here's the thing, because I asked people, how would you feel about going back to listening to CDs? And they all said like, oh, it's too expensive. I could never afford that. But the thing is, we used to be able to afford that. Everything used to be on CD. So why can we not afford it now? Yeah, fine. Cost of living crisis. But then here's the thing. Charity shops sell CDs.
Charity shops.
And they like give them out like hotcakes. It's like
and they sell
£1
the
for 5
bangers.
CDs.
You know, like the only ones that you'll actually be spending money on is your new stuff. Like, whereas if you're like, oh, here's an old album that I like, going to any charity shop is like £1, not even that.
Yeah, exactly. But even if you go away from other big artists, like say you're really trying to support the music business and everything good that is in the music industry, buy CDs at gigs, like at grassroots gigs. If somebody has a CD for sale, buy that
merch.
CD. Yeah, because
it
that's
goes
new
straight
music.
to the artist. And Bandcamp, this is like what you're about to say.
Bandcamp's great.
Bandcamp is great, but also I feel like people like passively listening to an artist, but I think a lot of people are very aware of the fact that we make no money.
Yeah.
At all. When you're at this point anyway, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're a music
the only
baby,
people
you
who
make
are
no money.
making money is like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
And like everyone up there. They're the only people making money. And I'm just like, Bandcamp, it's like, you can buy my tunes for £1, and then you can download them to your phone. You can put them in your DJ decks. You can put them on a Walkman.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with it. Because
Can't do that with
then
streaming.
yours. You can't do that with streaming.
Streaming's
unless you want to pirate it.
Music dad talking now. Hang on. Yeah, so if I follow a band on Bandcamp, like my mate's just brought an album out there, and he's actually kept it off Spotify for this reason. Right, it's been going years, and he's like just made 2 albums. You know, what do you call it when you bring out 2 things? Companion albums, right? If I buy that on Bandcamp, apart from on the Bandcamp app, where I'm sure I can listen to it like a streamer, right? When you say you can download it, where would that live on my phone?
In your files.
What files?
Like every phone will have like a files app, and it will download to your phone's files.
Yeah.
Do you have an Apple iPhone?
Yeah.
So you can also put it on your iTunes app. I think the quickest way is to do it over your laptop, actually, to just put it into iTunes.
Oh, right, the old
and then
way.
you can make a playlist from there. Because iTunes...
back to burning CDs and making.
Yes! Let's do that.
Honestly.
What has happened to that since you mentioned playlists and you just mentioned burning CDs?
Burning CDs.
Burning CDs. Let's go back to that. Because I think CDs are the
So
answer.
fun. Also, like, isn't it cool? Like, imagine you got like a new crush, and you were like, instead of just making them a playlist on Spotify, you give them the CD, and it's got like all these little songs, and you ask them out. Like, that's dope. A bit creepy, but dope. Do you know what I mean?
I think it would be so
It's
cute.
so cute.
That'd be
Yeah.
so cute.
The
And you
hopeless
could even-
romantic in the both of us. We both like write these sappy love songs, and it's like
Yeah.
we'd love that. Do you know what I
I
mean?
love that. And you could even stick one of your own on there. Like, you can put your own songs on a CD because it's so easy
I
to
put my
burn.
own songs everywhere.
Yeah.
Listen. Bandcamp, yeah, it looks really weird. Bandcamp is like the weirdest. I don't know if you've ever been on Bandcamp, the site, you will know that it looks like it's just popped out of 2005.
It does. Yeah.
And it's like that's the thing about it. It looks like a dodgy website, and it's just so not. But like, support your artists, buy their music.
To be fair, I sold a couple of pieces of merch on there, and it was really easy. It was really easy for the buyer as well. You can put links everywhere, and they'll get to the website. It just looks shit. That's the only problem with it.
I have my own website for that exact reason, where I've got like a me section where you can read all about me. And then I've got like my gigs and then my merch, and I think there's a bit where you can also buy my music on my website as well.
Yeah.
And it looks so much better than Bandcamp. But the issue with my website, like I was telling you earlier, I cannot post it on Instagram.
Oh,
which is where I have my largest following and most of my engagement.
Yeah.
Because in my bio on my website, it goes, I'm a trans, non-binary, queer artist, because I am. And I'm proud about that, and I'm open about it, because it's like most of the music I write is authentic to me as a queer person.
Yeah.
Might not necessarily be like, I'm gay, but it's like the experiences I write about are very queer and very authentic to me.
So it wouldn't make sense to hide that.
But when you put the word trans in anything to do with Instagram, in its community guidelines, it counts it as bodily mutilation or self-harm.
That is ridiculous.
And so I can't post it on my story. It takes it down straight away. I can't post it. I can't even write the words. It will just take it down straight away. And basically what's happened is every time I've put someone's like top surgery fundraiser on my story or posted about being trans, I've been getting like these marks, basically. Like they're like, it's like, and so one day I think, you know how like every artist just randomly gets reported at least once, just like for lols.
Just fun.
So I was like, I don't like you, reporting you. That has basically like cock blocked me so hard from putting my website on, and we literally didn't realize we were like putting Selfish out. And we're like, oh my god, buy tickets to the gig. The pipeline. Oh,
you can't post it.
we can't post it.
Oh my god.
So then we had to use Eventbrite, which also fuck Eventbrite because that has like a £1.75 fee.
Yeah. Why are
per
the
ticket.
fees so high?
And if
My
you sell
God.
25 tickets, you have to pay them even more money.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all.
whereas there's no fee on my website.
Yeah.
And the money goes straight to the artists and like the team again. So yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's really hard to be an independent artist in a country that relies on its music scene. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
I moved to the UK for the music scene, and I can't believe how they're treating their music scene. They don't even give a shit. Like Rishi Sunak,
Fuck
him
the
and I, we
Tories.
have a whole quarrel. If I ever meet him, my God, he's got a big storm coming. His fucking thing during COVID being like, oh, if you're a musician, just get a real job. I'm like,
You wouldn't be able to live your day-to-day life without music. I just know that.
Yeah.
I know that people wouldn't be able to do it.
what do you reckon he listens to?
I feel like I was about to say drill.
Drill.
Why?
Or maybe basic as hell. Maybe he's an Ed Sheeran fan.
Maybe he is an Ed Sheeran fan.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't feel like Ed Sheeran's a Tory.
No.
I'm not a particular fan of his music, but I don't think he's
What
a Tory.
is he? Did he ever say what politics he supports?
Oh, you know, but I don't think it's really a big part of his like
No,
identity as an
yeah.
artist. I don't know what Rishi Sunak listens to. I have no idea.
Maybe white noise.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he does. He can't live. He can live without music.
Maybe he hates
It's one of the
music.
few.
That's why he's so unlikable.
Yeah, but I honestly, my friends are more into music than I am. That sounds weird, but like I was telling you this,
Yeah.
I didn't start listening properly to music till like 2 years ago. When
That's just crazy to me. How did you even... How?
because I just like, I was like, had an iPod Nano,
Yeah.
and I bought my music off iTunes. And on that iPod Nano was Blurry Face by 21 Pilots, ABBA's Golden Album, and something else that I don't remember. But I would listen to 21 Pilots and ABBA, and that was it. And it would just be whenever I was walking somewhere or going somewhere, I'd just be listening. Oh, Jessie J, that was the other album.
Jessie J!
It was Jessie J, 21 Pilots, and ABBA. And like wherever I go, I was listening to my iPod Nano, and I didn't get bored of it. And then one day I got a phone, and then I just started listening to whatever. And it was always just an album. It was just one album on loop for like 3 months, and then I'd get bored and I'd find a new album. But then I think it was like a year or two ago, my brother turned around to me and was like, "Do you know this band?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "You should listen to this." And I was like, "I don't want to." And he was like, "How are you creating music without listening to music?" And I was like, "Okay." And then that's when I started listening to music. But I honestly only got into it because my friends made these Wham playlists, and they still do make these Wham playlists. And I would listen to them because I think that was the struggle, is I didn't enjoy the new format of finding music.
Yeah.
Because with CDs, you can just physically look at the cover art and you go, "Oh, I like this." Grab it, pick it up. That's what I want to listen to. But like, so my friends make these Wham playlists, and I'd listen to them and I'd be like, "Oh, dope." And that's what I'd listen to. Do you know what I mean? So it's only been like a really recent thing that I've been like broadening my music taste. But I feel like I don't hate any genre. I love, on my phone, I've got playlists separated into genre.
I guess because you didn't
reason.
grow up with a lot of music in that case, you're not biased towards anything.
No, definitely
And maybe
not.
that's why when I asked you earlier what your influences are and you couldn't really pinpoint any, maybe that's why you don't have any, because you didn't grow up listening to something very specific. Like I grew up listening to Lana Del Rey, so you can hear that in my music because I listen to her a lot.
Yeah.
Or Kate Bush as well, I listen a lot to her. You can hear it in my music, and maybe that's why you can't really you can't really tell who you're influenced by.
Which I think is another reason that I'm not really, which I really struggle with the genre label. Because I've got some songs that are like mellow, like Crap Television, which is like the chords are a bit funky, but it's really quite slow and chilled out. And then I've got like songs like David said, which is very like rock. And then I've got Rush, which is a rock song. And I just wrote a metal song the other day. And I'm just like, I struggle to fit in that category of like, we're just going to do this and that's it forever. That's not me.
Like, but it gets boring.
I was raised around music. Don't get me wrong. My mum loves like Kate Bush, Annie Lennox.
Oh, nice.
And then in the summer, it was like, we're going outside, we're listening to UB40. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was raised around tunes and like.
But you just didn't pick anything
and the
up.
80s.
Yeah.
I know all the 80s tunes. But I didn't. Yeah, I just didn't like listen to it. And now I do, and that's cool. And I think you can tell that my music has started to get a little bit more evolved, because when you do listen to music, you can like pick up these things. You're like, that's cool. I'm nicking that. Do you know what I mean? You're not actually nicking it, just making it your own.
No, you can nick some things. Like I have a song, for example, where on a phrase, the BPM is, for example, 120, but there's one phrase where the BPM goes down to 110.
Yeah.
And I stole it from. Who did I steal it from? I stole it from Ariana Grande, who stole it from somebody else.
Yeah. So real.
It's just a little techniques that you can pick up when you listen to great songs. So as we come to the end of the episode, I want to ask you, do you have anything that is in the near future that you can promote? Any gigs or releases, anything coming out?
Okay. So I have a new song coming out, but I don't know exactly when. So just stay tuned, because there will be a new song and it will be in time for the summer. But I do also have a gig in Brighton at the Three Jolly Butchers on the 20th of June, which can be really fun. Then I'm playing at Maidstone's first ever Pride on June 22nd.
That's exciting.
It's going to be really exciting, really fun. And then I'm doing something in July. What am I doing in July? Going on holiday to Barcelona. But I'm also doing a gig in July doing support from album launch with my lovely band Monocopsis. And then we are also doing a show at a festival, August 4th. And then October 4th, I'm back in Brighton at the Pipeline. So you can see me then.
Wow, you are booked and busy.
I am.
I might come to all of those.
You should. It's going to be great fun.
Okay. I'm going to come so that you can write a song
Maybe
about
I'll
me.
put Delphine on the 4th of October and you can see both of us. Wouldn't that be sick?
That'd be so sick. Oh my god, I'm like blushing now. You can find Crimson on Spotify under Crimson.
Yep.
Their latest song is called Selfish Self-Motivated, and
This is
it's
true.
a banger.
Thank you.
It's very sassy. I love the
is.
sassiness of everything. We
I
listened
was
to it in the car earlier, and we were like laughing out loud because it was so good.
It is quite fun. I was just like in such a... Yeah, I'm owning the fact that I'm actually a bitch sometimes.
Yeah, but that's good. I think it's so interesting to be so honest and admit like I am selfish and self-motivated. Like a lot of people wouldn't admit that about
Yeah.
themselves, but it's a really good thing to put in a song because some people might relate to it as well.
Yeah. I feel like everyone is a little bit of the time,
Yeah.
but no one's going to sit there and say it. And I just was like,
Somebody has to say
I
it.
am.
Crimson's saying it. Crimson Elliot, the O is a 0 on
It's the
Instagram.
same on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok.
Do you want to do your website? Because that seems to be the place where you can get all the
Yes,
updates.
my website, crimsonmusic.co.uk. You can get literally everything you need there. So if you hate social media,
Uncensored.
and even if you don't hate social media, you can hear about what's going on in my life. You can hear about my gigs. You can hear about my merch. Because I just dropped some new merch and it looks pretty sick.
Oh my god!
And I'm struggling to promote it because I put the pictures on my story, but there's like I actually can't sell it because I can't
Yeah,
like
because you can't put the link
tag the
in.
link.
Ugh.
So crimsonmusic.co.uk. Get yourself some swaggy Crimson merch because these are my favorite designs ever.
Oh, we're gonna
Um,
drop all the links in the description of this video or podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't get taken down from Instagram if that happens.
I'll have a word with Instagram.
Yeah. Fight them.
Yeah, I'll put my rings on and then I'll meet them in the back
Yeah.
alley.
Coming for you, Instagram.
Yeah. And you too, Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, Rishi Sunak.
Yeah,
And Suella Braverman.
yeah. Sleep with an eye open.
Yeah. Tory MPs. We're coming for you.
The best thing is you don't even have to go anywhere right now to listen to Crimson's music because we have them here performing a few of their amazing songs. I'm so excited
Yes.
to actually hear them play right here in the studio.
It's going to be so
And
much
right
fun.
here in your headphones
Headphones.
or your speakers, whatever you're listening on. So yeah, let's
We're going to get ready.
yeah,
So,
ready? Let's go.
let's do it. I met this girl on Monday. I danced with her on Tuesday. I walked her home and she told me about her boyfriend. Now it's Friday. She called me last night to tell me how she might break up with a boyfriend. Break up with a boyfriend. I wanted to offer her advice, but I didn't realize I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. And I know that it's silly, and I should stop thinking about her. She called me up last night just to tell me that she missed me. Whoa. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I've been thinking recently about the prospect of ethical non-monogamy. Maybe I'm better off alone, or maybe I'm better off with everyone. But me writing the song doesn't mean I wanna date her. She's basically a stranger. I don't wanna date her. I just wanna taste her. I don't wanna date her. I just wanna taste her lips. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I'm a selfish, self-motivated type. I'm a selfish, self-motivated taste her lips. Taste her lips. Taste her lips. never said I hated you, but now I really fucking do. I was in love with you, so were we all for the fall. Ooh, 2, 3, 4. Ashes to ashes, like David said. We're all gonna end up alone and dead. Ashes to ashes, like David said. Like David said. Like David said. You were the only thing that kept me going in January 2019. Now you walk around with no cares in your eyes. It's the song's about you. The song's about you. You never left me, no, you never left me. You never left me, fuck, I wish you left me. My heart is scarred, but at least you're not mine. Cause if you were mine, I think I would've lost my mind. Ashes to ashes, like David said. We're all gonna end up alone and dead. Ashes to ashes, like David said. Like David said. Like David said. I can't watch TV the same. They puncture me like a bullet through my brain. Now I'm walking on a thin wire. Now I'm walking on broken tires. You didn't just puncture my heart, you shot a bullet straight through my brain. You didn't just puncture my heart. I've never been the same. Ashes to ashes, like David said. We're all gonna end up alone and dead. Ashes to ashes, like David said. Like David said. Like David said. I thought I meant more to you than a casual fling. A little revelation. Your little revelation. You were no straight. But I guess that's what I was, the best of both worlds. Just a piece of your game of manipulation. I'm not just a revelation, I am creation. And maybe I created something worse than what I needed to happen in my life. But I was just 14, and you were just me. Ashes to ashes, like David said. We're all gonna end up alone and dead. Ashes to ashes, like David said. Like David said. Like David said. Ashes to ashes, like David said. We're all gonna end up alone and dead. Ashes to ashes, like David said. Like David said. Like David said. Wow. I'm in love with you, but there's nothing that I can do. Cause no one knows if you're in love with me too. I ask you out every Sunday. How have you not got it yet? I'm so in love with you. I don't know if I'm just obsessed. I guess I'm a coward, 'cause I'd never really ask you out. But if you said yes, I think I'd drop down dead. What a hard game to play. I'd rather drop this crush than fight my way through your insufferable love, my insufferable crush. Crying in the shower every single day, 'cause I'm just so afraid of what will happen if I say, hey, do you wanna go out sometime? No, I'd rather go out without you. I'm friends with your sister. Wish I met you on Tinder, but now I guess I'm just crowd watching. And it's tough luck for you, 'cause I would give you my whole heart on a platter. I give you roses, I give you kitchen kisses, I give you morning whispers with a little bit of. Maybe it's just an obsession, or maybe it's just a misdirection, but I don't think it is, 'cause I don't wanna be alone with you. I love to be alone with you. Anything I would give, anything to be alone with you. How could I be such a fool? Spend my days and nights with you. I need to stop letting myself be used, because it's not good enough for you. Would you like it if I told your boyfriend about everything that we've done? Would you like it if I told your boyfriend about everything that we've done? I opened up my phone to see pictures of you together. I'm trying to tell myself that I'm not irrelevant. Trying to tell myself that I'm my mother. Would you tell your boyfriend? Would you tell your boyfriend? Would you tell your boyfriend? I miss the simple things. I miss the long FaceTime calls. I miss waking up to see him, you know. Reminds me that somebody cared once, and I know that they will again. But I should not have abused our friendship. Now I'm in a totally different place. So would you like it if I told your boyfriend about everything that we've done? Would you like it if I told your boyfriend about everything that we've done? No, no. Would you like it? Would you like it? Oh. Would you like it if I told your boyfriend about everything that you've done? You spent so many nights in my green sheets. You spent so many nights looking at me, and I found myself in a difficult position. Would you like it if I told your boyfriend? No, you wouldn't. No. Would you like it? Would you like it? Would you like it? No, you wouldn't.
fantastic live set. Thank you so much, Crimson, for playing. I'm so in love with every single song that you played today. A lot of them are released. We will be leaving links in the description and in the notes if you want to check them out. And yeah, thank you for coming today. We had such a nice interview and this was such a nice set.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I hope to come back soon.
Yes, we'll have them back soon. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next episode of the Music Baby podcast, available wherever you listen to your podcasts and on YouTube.
Like and subscribe to the Music Baby podcast.